The Cleveland Cavaliers opened their season with a thrilling victory over the Brooklyn Nets. It wasn't pretty from start to finish, but the Cavs flashed their new and improved offense and locked in defensively down the stretch to steal the game from Brooklyn. Max Strus wasted no time reassuring the fan base that he will be a difference maker, drilling a franchise record 7 3-pointers in his debut as a Cavalier. Something as simple as setting a stagger screen with the big rolling and Strus popping for a 3 is the type of action Cleveland didn't have much of last season. Strus is in constant motion, forcing the defense onto its heels all night long. Cam Johnson is preparing to contain Mitchell on this screen, but Strus is ghosting it, zipping straight into a handoff for 3 points. Strus finished with 27 points and 12 rebounds, bringing exactly what the doctor ordered for this Cavalier team, even using his threat as a shooter to slip this screen for an easy bucket, showcasing how good of a cutter Max Strus is. And this block and push in transition was one of the keys to Cleveland crawling back into this game. The Cavs took 43 3-pointers in their opener against Brooklyn, something they only did 3 times all of last year. Cleveland's 17 3-point makes overwhelmed the Nets and hopefully will continue to be a staple of their offense. The whole team should benefit from this change of play offensively, but one player in particular could really benefit from blending space and pace with grit and grind, and that's Isaac Okoro. Okoro is entering a pivotal season with restricted free agency waiting for him at the end of the year. The time is now for Okoro to prove he belongs long-term with the core, and his all-around sturdy performance in Game 1 is a good start. Okoro put up 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in the season opener, running in transition, knocking down open 3-pointers, and routinely jamming up Brooklyn's offensive sets. Okoro's fingerprints were all over Cleveland's win in the second half. It starts with a simple swing pass to the hot hand, with Strus nailing a 3 to open the quarter. Then Okoro contains Bridges on this drive, forcing him into a turnover. And when the Cavs come down the floor, it's Okoro who sets the screen for Strus to step into another 3-point shot. On the next possession down, Okoro attacks from the corner and gets his first look at a wide open floater. While he misses, he manages to grab his own rebound and earn a pair of free throws. But this shot is worth rewinding because look at how much space Okoro has driving down the middle of the lane. He never saw this much daylight inside the paint last season. This should change with Cleveland's added spacing, and it's not a coincidence that Okoro was working on this specific shot the day after the game. A few minutes later, Okoro makes a nice cut and then passes to Mobley that doesn't result in a bucket, but when Cleveland gets the stop on the other end, Okoro is the first one back down the floor for a layup. Okoro's defensive impact doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but his constant ball denial makes life difficult for opponents. On this play, he draws Ben Simmons into an offensive foul simply by being aggressive fighting over the screen. And later in the fourth quarter, Okoro's ball denial on Bridges forced Brooklyn into an awkward 24-second violation. Back to the third quarter, and just 1 minute after his last transition layup, Okoro is again sprinting to the cup for a dunk off of this Nets turnover. On the very next possession, he walls up Cam Johnson with the help of Evan Mobley, and it's another turnover for another Cavs fast break. The lead is now up to 10, and Okoro delivers one more quality contest to force a miss before heading back to the bench, ending his successful third quarter shift. Okoro would pick back up right where he left off in the fourth, smothering Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges on these tough jumpers, and while they still went in, you can't play much better defense than this. Shortly after, Okoro was off to the races again in transition, forcing his way back to the free throw line. With Brooklyn back in the driver's seat a few minutes later, Okoro knocks down a big triple to make it a one-possession game and halt the run. He doesn't allow Bridges to use the screen here, and when it gets flipped, Okoro clings on to Claxton and denies him the ball, pushing him deep under the basket and allowing Strus to secure the rebound. Again, these are the tiny things that don't show up in the stat sheet but make Okoro an impactful player. And just a minute later, It's Okoro taking advantage of miscommunication and finishing another dunk. This play is possible because of a lot of ball watching from Bridges, but also because two Nets defenders instinctively shift towards Max Strus, who just filled in for a potential 3-point shot, and Okoro is the one who makes them pay. Now we're getting down to winning time, and Okoro has accepted the challenge of guarding Cam Thomas, who exploded for 24 points in the first half and would finish with a game-high 36. But on this play, Okoro puts him in a straitjacket and blocks his jumper, and one possession later, guess who gets a steal and opens the door for another bucket in transition for Cleveland. Even with all of this, the Cavs were nearly dead in the water before Strus and Mitchell converted on two huge defensive plays to claw back into the game. This Strus block and push in transition, leading to a foul, is proof that he's more than just a 3-point shooter, and Mitchell's active hands led to 4 steals in this game, including this momentum-shifting swipe to tie it up with a dunk. Mitchell would eventually take initiative to bury the go-ahead jumper.
Mitchell, contact with Johnson. Mitchell for the lead! Got him! Cavaliers up by 1.
And Brooklyn was so focused on getting Okoro the hell away from Cam Thomas on the final possession, they forgot Evan Mobley is the wrong guy to force the switch on.
Second, Thomas Hoyce, off the rim, Johnson, no good! The Cavaliers hold on for the win on opening night.